welcome back to the chaos. Welcome to the Casual Chaos Podcast, the sports wagering community. It's 7:55 on a Wednesday. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Jeff and Bubba. What is up, fellas?
What's going on, JayAsh? Jeff, how you doing, brother?
Doing all right, Bubba. I just watched Volpe for the Yankees hit a double to drive in 2 runs, so I'm happy at the moment. Yeah.
Let's go.
Ash, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I got the Mariners-Reds game on, and I just saw some clown hit a home run and then walk around the dugout with a trident, made a goal. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Rick killed somebody with a trident.
It's escalated quickly.
What do you think old people say about the shit that they see nowadays? I mean, they've got to be just fucking.
I don't get it. I mean,
arms about it.
It's like we're wearing the bling on an interception or something in college football. I don't understand.
The turnover chain.
Yeah. I mean, you could really hurt somebody with a trident. So anyway, welcome into the podcast. We're recording a day early. We got some team travel here coming up this week. So we wanted to absolutely get a pod out for the audience. Just a reminder to everybody, we got our socials flashing across the screen. Please follow us. Please submit the tickets. As you guys know, this is a community show, interactive. We want to hear from you. We want to see your tickets, what you're playing, match it up against ours. But more importantly, just, let's get some reaction out there in the community. Let's see who's winning big. Let's see who's catching some bad beats. Hopefully not too many, what parlays are popping, etc. Send in your tickets either through the link, direct DM on Instagram, a lot of different ways to get a hold of us. So, like I said, it's Wednesday, so I think we still have time to talk about Rory, and the Masters. So let's cue it up. Let's get some Masters feedback, not only on the Rory story, but what's going on in general with your Masters tickets. How'd everybody fare?
Well, I guess I'll start. Because I know you guys are far more into the Masters than I was. I did watch it though. I mean, I did watch it. I always like the.
It's a great tournament this year.
Yeah,
great tournament.
It was.
They appreciate your viewership.
But I was also on Sunday. I was also probably the only one on of the three of us that was paying attention to the NBA as well. Those were some good games. But I did catch. So Rory goes into it obviously with the lead. All of a sudden he's one shot behind, and you're worried about the wheels falling off, and then. Blink of an eye, there's a 4-shot swing, and he's up by 3. Right? What did you guys think at that point? Did you think he was going to run away with it, or I mean, what were you thinking at that point?
I thought he was going to run away with it, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I said he's known for choking, and I started to watch Rose come back as well. Mm-hmm. So on Sunday, it's funny. I was at Disney. I was playing for Dad of the Year. I went out late last night, watched UFC fights on Saturday. And then wake up at 6 a.m, get to Disney, spend the whole day at Disney. But I bought 2 backup chargers. So I'm watching the Masters up until the end, rolling the car. I bumped into a few people. I was rolling the stroller. But I had Rose. I had a ticket for Rose from after the round on Thursday. And I forgot about it because going into Saturday, he was done. I mean, or I guess did he lead after Friday too? I think he led after Friday too. Yeah. Fell apart a little bit on Saturday, and then he started to come back Sunday in the afternoon, and my hangover went away. I was like, this $25 ticket's gonna pay $350 that I put in on Thursday night. And so when they went to the playoff, I mean, I was dialed. I was talking to people. Every male that was like 25 to 40 at Disney was on their phone like this, just watching. You could just see them all. That Megan's like, is everybody watching it? I was like, everybody here is watching it.
So it was like awesome. Stroller carnage, just accidents everywhere.
Yes.
Poor kids.
It was awesome though. But I loved it. The turn. It was like golf couldn't have had a better weekend, if you ask me.
I text Tyler, Jeff, probably, I don't know, Rory just probably came off of 4. And I half joking, I was kind of like, I think these two are going to outsmart themselves at some point. Oberg's just going to kind of stay the course and wind up stealing this thing. And then as we all saw, Bryson in the water, Rory in the water. It was like, oh shit, this is really happening.
It got to within 2, right? Didn't Oberg was that? It was like 8 under. They were 10 under, or something like that.
We had a 3-way tie at 10.
Yeah, we threw a tie 10. That's right.
Yeah. So Tyler, any thoughts before I give my real thoughts? trying to hold back.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. It was a great tournament. I mean, Rory tried about 6 different times to throw up on himself and throw it away. But he exercised a lot of demons with that one. It was pretty incredible. That wedge shot he hit on the playoff holes, just all-time shot right there.
Yeah.
You know, you got to just sack up and hit the shot. I thought he, you know, it was all on the drive. He piped the drive, and then he just stiffs it. I wish Rose would have made it just to see if he had the balls to make a 4-footer when you have to, because even if he misses that, okay, we play another hole. But, you know, we didn't. He made it. Rose misses. He wins. Awesome moment. Great celebration. I had Oberg that I put in months and months ago to win, and I thought it was dead in the water, and then Rory goes in the water on what, 13 with a wedge, which is just, you just can't do that. And then Oberg sneaks back in, and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to birdie 18, win this thing. I'm just going to get out of here. And then he goes in 3 jacks, just atrocious 3-putt on 17. And okay, well then that's over. But it was an awesome tournament. I enjoyed every bit of it. Would have liked to see maybe Rose win it just a little bit more, but pretty cool to see someone get that Grand Slam victory. And Rory's a deserving, you know, guy of it. I think he's definitely the best golfer of his generation. So awesome to see him actually get that W. I would have loved if he didn't, just to see if he ever gets back in the top 10 in that tournament.
Well, you don't want to. I mean, you know, we all lived through Norman, right? Greg Norman. You don't want to see another Greg Norman. So I'm just glad he's the 6th guy to do the Grand Slam, right? He's number 6, I think.
Yeah. Most of them black and white pictures, you know, way before our time even, and only ones that Jack and Tiger. It's pretty good company there. If you're a golf guy, those are the 2 guys you want to be with in a conversation.
Yep. Absolutely.
I was getting.
Let's hear it, JayAsh. What do you got?
Well, I'll be tame. I think there was a clip that was floating around on YouTube about my take not aging very well when I talked about Rory and fading him and, you know, top 5, top 10. I think what got overlooked in that clip was I did have a wager on him, and I picked up $650. So it was there. It just was the equivalent of $100 bet. I was able to get it for free. And so
it was a free wager, right?
It was a free bet. Yeah. So there was no risk. I mean, listen, I don't have the disdain for him as someone on this program has for another golfer that we've talked about, but I'm not a fan. I'm you know, with the whole live thing, and I just thought he was overly whiny, and he tried to become the face of golf and the voice of golf and everything on the Netflix show. It was just like, can we stop showing this guy? To Tyler's point, you know, he's the best golfer of his generation. So I get it. So like, I'm kind of torn because what he does with a golf club and the shots he makes is just unreal, but he's got some legendary choke jobs at this point. So it was, I don't want to say mixed emotions, but watching in real time, trying to explain to my wife how historic this potentially could be on both sides. If he completes the choke job, you know, I had people texting me like, hey, I'm actually worried for his safety. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking. Like, this guy might not leave Augusta like a lot.
Right.
Like,
and again, I'm not making light of it. It's said in jest, but like, he's talked about having, you know, the coach this year, the mental coach, to get over some of the issues he had, you know, last year after choking away another major. So it was like, oh my God, is this going to happen? But he comes through, and you have that, you know, real visceral moment at the end where he literally drops. It wasn't choreographed. You know, we've seen some people do the choreograph, get down, get on your knees. Like, he exercised major demons. And if you were there, you get to say in 25, you saw somebody do what only 5 other people did prior and complete a Grand Slam. So hats off to him, you know, no doubt about it. Would I have been happier if he missed it? Well, financially, I would have, you know, I wouldn't have lost anything, but I also wouldn't have picked up the $650. So wouldn't say happier, but I think it's better content if he loses.
From a gambling standpoint, dude, good on you, right? Like, you don't like maybe what he does off the course, but you recognize that if you have $100 free wager, you can throw it on him because the guy's a damn good golfer and he had a really good chance of winning it. So for you to recognize that, not a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people that bet emotionally and they will not do that, you know? And so I think props to you for doing that and walking away with a good ticket.
Yeah, it's Forget about betting emotionally. Just betting sober makes it easy too.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm one of them though, Bubba. I'll never bet against a team that I like. It doesn't mean I'll bet for them. Like if they're playing a game that I think they'll lose, I won't bet them just to bet them, but I won't bet against them either.
It just becomes a non-play. It becomes a non-play. Yeah. So Rose was a fun story, and I thought he was classy as all could be at the end of the interview.
Absolutely, yeah.
He even made the joke, I would have loved to have been the bad guy today, and he's clearly not a bad guy. But all the European, all those guys were on the Ryder Cup together. Those guys are boys. Lowry with the huge bear hug afterwards. So it was awesome to see that aspect of it. As I texted Tyler, though, I'm scared to death for the European Ryder Cup team. Like, that matchup is not looking good. I heard somebody make the joke that the best player for the Americans is going to be the New York crowd at Bethpage.
100%. Like Keegan Bradley's going to have to play on that on the U.S. team, I think. Which is nothing against Keegan Bradley. He's actually been playing great golf, but that's not the guys you want to go to war with. There, you need Brooks Koepka, you need Bryson DeChambeau, you need the guys that are playing great golf. What was it 4 years ago when we dominated when it was back over here and took him to the woodshed? We got to have those guys show up. If all these dudes that are playing well right now, 6 of the guys in the top 10 were playing on that Ryder Cup team for the other side. You got to hope. Are we even going to pick Patrick Reed? He almost snuck in this thing. If he doesn't 3-putt 15 or, I think 13. If he doesn't 3-putt 13, he's in the playoff.
Listen, the man in black used to be called Captain America in 2 Ryder Cups previous, right?
Damn right. I love Patrick Reed when he's playing on our side.
Yeah, nails.
Oh my God, he's awesome. Him and Jordan Spieth were great. And again, not a Jordan Spieth guy, but I'll cheer for him to the day I die on the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
You got something to say, Jeff? I can see it.
I was just gonna make a joke about it. We got a new Captain America, but we'll get to that later, right?
We sure do.
Oh yeah.
Just wrapping up the Masters. We're talking about Oberg. Cost himself $700,000 on that last hole. But I think Tyler, if you go back and kind of replay it in your head, he knew he had to try to go for it in 2, and once he did, he probably just had a momentary lapse and was just like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, he didn't give a shit after the tournament was over for him. Okay, who cares? Right. 4th, 5th, 8th, who gives a shit?
It was the same thing with DeChambeau, right? I mean, he was on 15. He just knew it's 15 or 16. He knew he had to go for it, and that was it. He got crushed,
Yep.
So,
yeah, I didn't have any surprises. I mean, 5 out of 5 guys in the top 10 had them all from a play standpoint. So from a ticket standpoint, it wasn't the best showing I've had in a Masters, but it was profitable. We'll take it.
Just as something to think about too moving forward. I know we kind of teased us having these parlays with all the majors. Do not be shocked if Rory wins 3 or maybe all the majors this year. He gets exercises this demon. He's going to a place next that he's won at 6-7 times, including a PGA championship. I believe he's played well in the past at where the U.S. Open is. I think it might be at Oakmont. And the Open Championships in Northern Ireland, where he's from. So that crowd's going to be electric by the time he gets there. If he's got the other 2 by the time he gets there, that's must-see television and almost got to buy a ticket to go to Northern Ireland.
I'm pretty sure he's 99-1 to complete the Grand Slam on FanDuel. I might want to check that. I don't know why you bet anybody else at Quail.
No, it's him.
Yeah, he's
100%.
down. He's down to 450. That's anybody else you wanted to play, just take the money, put it on him, and he probably shoots 20 under.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he reacts from doing this, because there's 2 ways, right? He's going to win a shit ton and be unstoppable for a little bit, almost like a Tiger in 2001, or okay, I've done it all now. Now I'm just going to, coast. I don't think that's Rory's mentality. I think Rory's more I want to win everything, and he's always kind of been that way. So, but if
does
he comes
have that
out,
dog in him, otherwise, is that the question? Does he have?
He
that
does
dog?
now. He does now. You might not have been able to say that before Sunday, at 7:00 at night, but I think it's unequivocally he's got enough to do everything in the game of golf. So outside of winning an Olympic gold, which only came up the last 2 Olympics, he's done everything.
Yep. It's true.
Not that I'll change the subject just for a second, but you guys see the score of the basketball game?
No.
The Heat are up 38-21.
Oh,
Wow.
early.
I'm only mentioning that because before we started this pod, I mentioned to those guys that I just had a funny feeling the Heat were going to run away with it tonight. So,
Heat
What,
culture.
is it still? Is it a first quarter, Jeff?
yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's some points.
The thing is, though, right? If they win the game, though, they have to play again Friday, right? So they have to win 2 to get in, right? So
Yep, they got to play Trey.
yeah. Oh,
right.
well, that's a win.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, let's moving off the Masters. You know, we had a big UFC fight, which is a good segue into talking tickets because I know some of the tickets we had sent in late last week had something to do with the fight. So, producer Tyler, what do we have for talking tickets?
Yeah, well, let's. What do we want, guys? We want winners
we
or
gotta
losers
get, like,
first?
some-
What do we want?
hey, we got to get some music, right? Talking tickets. We got to have like something to play us into it.
Let's get something where
Seinfeld.
some good copyright infringement material.
Yeah. What do you guys want first? Winners, losers? What are you guys thinking?
I don't want to make
Surprises. Yep.
Oh man, you guys stink. You guys stink.
Let's go with the losers then. All right, we'll go.
Perfect. Let's start with this loser, which nobody will see coming from anywhere. We got Martin. I believe this is Martin with some Japanese baseball league. Talk about some diversity in what we're betting here.
The Rain
Unfortunately,
Man.
yeah, not a good one here. Gets the L, but yeah. Japanese baseball. You guys follow a lot of Japanese baseball over there?
I don't follow, but I know exactly how this went down, and I don't actually know how it went down, but I've done this before back in my early days of gambling. You just see it, you throw it on it, you go to sleep, you dream happy, and you hope that you wake up a winner. Unfortunately, that's not always the case.
And then Hiroshima blows up your bet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Well, the thing about the Japan baseball, though, they do have some really good pitchers out there. So
And their defense is impeccable. They play great defense. So it's
Yeah.
like, take the under.
Find the 1 or 2 monster pitchers that are out there and just throw money on them every time.
Hindsight's 2020. We're over
Yeah,
here screaming, take the under.
You guys know those pitchers' names by any chance when they pop up on the rotation for
you know
Martin?
what? Not off the
I'm
top
pretty
of my
sure
head.
Bartolo Colon is pitching in Japan right now.
Yes.
About right.
Yes, Cologne.
At 320 pounds. Yeah.
62 years old.
But no, I love it. It's a Hail Mary, right? He just threw it in. You know, I'm assuming this is how it went down. He threw it in, went to sleep, woke up, checked, and he was like, man, they got me. You know, I don't know.
I'm watching the Yankees, and they got second and third with 2 outs with Judge coming up. And I was saying to myself, there's no way they're going to pitch to him. And, of course, they walked him. So,
We got right here. We got
Was it an intentional walk? Sorry, intentional walk.
They put up the fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
stupid. They don't make him even throw the ball anymore. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I know.
We got another one here, golf related, so we'll just throw it up there. Kind of a tough beat. Like he probably thought, Ludwig actually, like we said, threw up on himself. So he gets it's a 3 leg parlay here, 5,000 to win 20,000, and loses on Jason Day, who played like flawless golf for a while in the Masters. Like didn't make a bogey for like 2.5 days. At the Masters, but gets the loss to Sung Jae Im. So again, a $5,000 loss there. Who was that one? I think that was Eddie the Eyes. Eddie the Eyes with a sad loss there, but he threw a Hail Mary. I mean, it was probably looking really good at the beginning of the round there. It just kind of fell apart.
I love the names, man. We get a lot of good names doing this, so keep them coming.
You're a little cross-eyed after that bet. 5,000. It's a tough parlay to swallow.
Yeah, it is.
We got another one here. Talk about a tough one to swallow. Kind of like our bad beat of the week here. You say bad beat, but we got our guy. We got D-Bubs here. It's only a $12 loss, so hopefully D-Bubs isn't in some trouble here with this loss. But over 3.5 for Dustin Harris. I think this Bubba. I think you guys know this Dustin Harris gentleman. Grew up with him here in Tampa, so pretty cool. But
he played at Land O'Lakes High School here in Tampa, and he's found his way to the big leagues, and we're all proud of him. But one of our good buddies threw this in. Obviously, it's like one of those feel good parlays, our feel good bets, and unfortunately, I'll let Tyler tell the rest of the story because what did he hit a solo home run in like his first at bat?
Second inning, hits a solo bomb, so he gets 1 hit, 1 run, and an RBI. So he's at 3 in 25 minutes in a baseball game nowadays.
Wow.
And comes up 3 more times, gets a walk at one point, but just ends up not getting the win there. So he probably felt great, right after the first at bat. Like, he's locked in.
I know that Dustin Harris felt great, but D-Bubs probably didn't feel so good.
Correct. And then kind of switching gears there. I know Jay mentioned it before. We have a loss here, but kind of talking about the UFC this weekend was a great card if you guys stayed up for it. But our boy ADC put this one in. Unfortunately, Michael Chandler, I believe, got the L. I think everyone else in this one, Volkanovski lost, right? He won. Sorry.
Yeah.
I read that wrong. So Alex, I think, went 2 or 4, which isn't going to get it done here, especially in the bragging rights for the Casual Chaos podcast. But, Michael Chandler gets the L. I forget, Lopez gets the L. Tough loss there, but great UFC card if you stayed up and watched it after the Masters.
Michael Chandler got his ass beat, but I could make an argument for Lopez beating Volkanovski. I can make that argument. I saw a picture come across my feed. It was texted to me. I think MMA Junkie, Instagram MMA Junkie posted it, and Volk's face was like, it just didn't look like somebody that want to fight. But I don't know, with AI and filters and stuff like that, it could have been fake, but that's a pretty big account, and I think it was real. So it was in a press conference after the game, and you can make an argument that Lopez won that fight, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Paddy the Baddy, switching gears here to some
dominated.
W's. I know I mentioned that Paddy the Baddy, I'm not going to take him as a favorite. Holy shit.
He's going to win for a long time. He's different right now.
That was impressive, and I know Michael Chandler's not like in his prime at this point, but again, whooped his ass, like a straight ass kicking. And Jay, I believe you had a nice little winner. I could throw it up here. I think we had a couple cats here with the Paddy the Baddy winner. I think Jay, did you have a Paddy the Baddy? Oh, and your bragging rights.
And the bragging rights, we can just do it now if you want. Just jump.
Let's give some love to the other guys here. We think we had Vinny and then One Buck Ant, our boy, not betting, European football and shit. Now he switched it over to some UFC, and he knows UFC. He's got UFC down. He's got Paddy the Baddy getting a dub, and again, I think we had Vinny as well, both getting a big Paddy the Baddy wins. And again, not really even close. Didn't have to sweat this one at all. It was an ass kicking from the jump.
If they fought again in 2 weeks, that number minus 165, it would be minus 400.
100%.
That's how bad he got his ass beat.
Do we know if One Buck Ant thought he was betting the UFL and he hit UFC by accident?
Possibly.
And
Could have been.
He thought it was the Brimlets of some city. I mean,
it was probably an accidental bet for sure.
Yeah, he's consistent with the U's.
Yeah, he's happy about it. I know that.
Amazing.
For sure. But yeah, UFC was great card. Switching gears here, we got Johnny Hammer. Johnny Hammer with a baseball W. We don't get a ton of baseball, even though we're kind of in the full swing here of baseball season. But we got a baseball W here. We got the over in, what is that? The Guardians and the Orioles, 8.5 the other night. Yankees minus 1.5. Oh, last night, perfect. Yep. And then the Red Sox beat the Rays. And I know we talked about it in our group chats, and I know it's kind of been going around, and maybe it's going around more because we're here in Tampa. But the Rays haven't won a game on tax day, April 15th, in 15 years now. 15 years. That's crazy.
That's absurd.
It's not a coincidence.
Can't be. At some point.
It's a tax filing issue with the owner, clearly, right? They're the lowest payroll in baseball historically, and the guys just don't want to play on tax day. They're like, fuck this guy. I hope he files an extension, but we're not going to play today. It's the only explanation. You can't, just that it's a nonsense stat. It's impossible to lose on the same day every calendar year for 15 straight years unless you're in on a joke. You got to be in on a joke.
Jay, you can't predict baseball,
Yeah. My angle on that game, because I bet on the Red Sox too, was that nobody in the Rays lineup had ever faced Walker Buehler And everybody in the Red Sox lineup, almost everybody, I think 7 out of the 9 hitters had already faced the Rays pitcher, and they had pretty good numbers against them. So that was my betting angle on it. I didn't even know that stat until I was at the game, and somebody turned around and said it to me. I was like, well, thank God I've been on the Red Sox.
Well, the Hammer was on it.
We were talking about the Heat last week at the stadium. You said you were there for a night game, and the place was full, right?
Oh, yesterday there wasn't really many empty seats. I mean, it was packed, but it just the temperature is 20-degree difference.
Yeah,
in the right way on night games. So they work for now, but again, in July, August, those nights aren't cold. They're muggy, they're hot. There's mosquitoes, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the night game was for sure a lot more asses in seats.
That's good.
Nice.
Well, they got the Yankees coming in this weekend, so I'm sure it'll be full for those 4 games, no matter what.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun for the Yankees in the visitors' clubhouse.
Yeah, right.
They're not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's really weird, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be really weird, especially because I was lucky enough to play a game there in high school, and we got to work out of the visitors' clubhouse, and it was not good. It was not good at all.
So the Yankees just before this whole thing with the Trop happened, the Yankees had just redone their home.
The
clubhouse.
home clubhouse is
Right.
insane. They posted pictures of it. It's ridiculous.
But I think part of the deal with the Rays being able to play there was they were supposed to redo the visitors clubhouse. So
It was.
I'm sure I'll hear about it. As far as the people I follow and stuff,
It's definitely going to be a story. They're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll find out. If they upgraded it or not. So
yeah.
Producer Tyler, are we good with tickets?
We got one more. We got 2 more kind of. We got the Rory winner. Most people, he was the most bet golfer. But like Bubba said, some guys were just not. We're probably betting with their heart instead of their mind. But JayAsh did come through with the $100 free bet, I believe, for the $650 win. So great on JayAsh being smart with his money there. And then we had a first-time bettor with us, TJ, also taking Rory. Not so much of a big bet, but still covering. I think he bet 5 or 6 guys to win at $5 a pop. So I think he just kind of broke out even. But he picked between Scotty and Rory, he said, and picked the right way. So at least it wasn't complete loser for him. But good stuff there. Rory, again, good on him completing the Grand Slam there. And good on TJ and Jay getting the dubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't normally concentrate on our own tickets except for the bragging rights section, but that was definitely one worth throwing up there for JayAsh. So good job.
I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I think we're going to probably announce some sort of something. We got a little secret ready to get everybody else involved in the bragging rights.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the coming weeks, but absolutely. Yeah.
Well, listen, talking tickets, that was fantastic. We had some heartbreak losers, nothing catastrophic, but except that $5,000 wager. A lot of nice wins, but like we talk about, we want to hear from you. Follow us on the socials, send in the DMs, the emails, click the links, get your tickets in. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on. No bets too big, no bets too small. $5, $5,000. We want to hear from it. It's all fun. It's all the same popping in the brain when you're watching the game. So
absolutely.
Shifting gears, we got a big week coming up. We've got NBA playoffs, play-in games underway. NHL is locking up their season, playoff announcements and matchups kicking off this weekend. Got the RBC Heritage, not to mention baseball. So where do we want to jump in?
Well, let's go with the NBA. Yeah, I mean, so we got the play-in games going. They started yesterday. They're going again today, and then obviously they finish up on Friday. But let's talk about because this is by the time we get together next week, the playoffs have already started. So let's talk about who do we think is going to play in the finals this year. You could pick a winner if you want, but just give us the Eastern and Western Conference Finals at the very least.
I haven't wavered all year. I'm sticking with the chalk. I'm sticking with the Thunder and the Celtics. I think the Cavs could give the Celtics a run. I just think, barring injury, if that team's complete, I see them coming out of the East, and I don't see anybody messing with the Thunder this year. Obviously, they were a little bit younger last year, first time, but they're they're an underrated team right now. I heard today there might even be a little bit no one believes in us mentality. So, but those guys play hard every night, which is hard to do in the NBA. And you got a guy who's potentially going to be the MVP and maybe having one of the best shooting guard seasons since Jordan. So
he's going to be the MVP. Maybe he shouldn't be the MVP, but he's going to win. There's no doubt about that. Do you have a winner in mind yet, or are you going to hold off on that?
Oh, Thunder.
Okay, Bubba.
Wow. I like the Cavs coming out of the East, and I like the Lakers coming out of the West, and I think the Lakers win the NBA Finals this year.
Ooh.
That's my bet.
All right, come on, man. You
They
got the Lakers coming out of the West?
I've got the Lakers, absolutely.
I'm riding with you, Bubba. I put in that bet the other night.
I've got the Lakers.
What a storyline it'd be. Like LeBron's got to play the Cavs.
That's what I'm
and
saying,
like the finals
right?
would be
Like
awesome.
think about the producers in the back of the house in the NBA, right? They're like, we need the Lakers, Cavs. We need the Lakers. The Lakers are a good basketball team.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to argue that. It's just, can they beat the West is stacked, man.
Didn't they beat the Thunder like the last two times they played them?
No. They beat them
Split.
2 times ago, and then they got pounded the time after that. So
Yeah.
But the time that they beat them, they pounded them, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And
So,
they
I mean,
played.
it's
It was like back-to-back games. It was like 2 games in 3 days. They played
Yeah.
each other. So, look, the problem with my only issue with the Lakers is, number one, you're still counting on LeBron staying healthy, right? The first round's not a big deal because they play every 2 or 3 days, but you get into the second round and all of a sudden you start playing every other day. So you got to worry about the guy who's 40 years old staying healthy. But the bigger issue is just how small they are. They're so small. So OKC is not small. They're big, they're long, they're athletic. That'll be a real problem if they end up meeting in the finals. That's the way I look at it. I mean, obviously they got Luka and they got LeBron, and I was joking with you earlier. I mean, it wouldn't be insane for them to get to the championship, but I'd be surprised.
All things considered, when they made the Luka trade, I put in the Thunder before the season to come out of the West, so I got a hedge there, and I always have a hedge with Jokic because that's what you have to do. I think you remember that Luka dragged the Mavs to the championship last year, right? Got through the West when they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
But I think everybody forgets that the Lakers with LeBron and Anthony Davis got swept back-to-back years in the first round, right? So
but all the games were close, so that don't count, right?
Sure,
but they were competitive, so it's not really a sweep. It's the most competitive sweep ever.
Right. But I don't think they should be, or I'm sure they're not. I don't think you're looking at Minnesota and Ant coming to town and saying this is a layup. Like, that's going to be a hell of a first round matchup for them because, to your point, Jeff, Minnesota's big. Right? Minnesota can bang. They got big wings.
It would be a feat for them to get to the finals. I agree with that. You got too many teams in the West that are.
It's a terrible pick, Bubba. It's a terrible pick.
No, Bubba, don't listen to them, man. It's a
Tyler,
great
you
pick.
got
It's a
my
great
back
pick.
on
It's
this.
a great pick. It's a great pick. LeBron James. Well, and my defense on the Thunder, the NBA always feels like this. It takes a while to win with young guys like that without a winner. Like, they don't got anybody on their team that is. Alex Caruso, by the way, is the guy that's like one on that team. So you need a winner almost in the NBA. Not that the Celtics really didn't have like a full blown winner when they won last year, but they've been to the Eastern Conference Final like 9 times in a row. It felt like
they went through the wars.
So they haven't quite been there. So if they get in the situation where it is Lakers Thunder, which I think would be second round matchup, nerves take over. Now you're playing LeBron James.
You're playing LeBron
to go to the Western Conference Finals. Not that maybe those guys don't get bothered by that, but
maybe they don't
that's
care,
the reality of it. Is you got to play LeBron James and Luka Doncic, who have been here before and done it at the highest level. So you never know.
Jeff, who do you got?
Just real quick, my comment on that would be, and you're not wrong, because it usually does take time to. I mean, you go through history, right? It took Detroit years to get through the Celtics, and then it took the Bulls years to get through the Detroit, and I mean, it's always been that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with OKC is they're so good defensively, okay? And usually if you struggle because you're young, you struggle on the offensive end, they're not going to struggle on the defensive end. I mean, that's just effort, and they'll put in the effort. So I really do think they're going to get out. It's kind of boring to say that. I agree with Ash that I think it's going to be OKC versus the Celtics, but we'll disagree. I think the Celtics win that series. If the Celtics are healthy, And again, that's kind of a big if too, with Holiday and Porzingis having, and Brown for that matter, having a lot of minor injuries this year. But if the Celtics are as healthy as they've been all season right now, and if they're still healthy going into the finals, it'll be a hell of a series. But I'll take Boston beating OKC. One other note: I have a soft spot for Denver. I'd love to see Denver make it to the finals. I'd love to see Joker make it to the finals again. I just don't know if, and of course, the past few games they've been playing like their hair is on fire. But I just don't know if they could keep that going for the next whatever
Jeff,
4 weeks.
Are we discounting the wars that Hachimura and Jackson Hayes have been through for the Lakers?
I'm not.
LeBron? No. Okay.
I'm not. Sure. And who did you say? DiVincenzo, right? What? He hasn't won anything, has he? I mean, I know he's gone deep into the playoffs, but he hasn't won anything, has he? They never won, right?
No, I think Tyler didn't say
Alex Caruso. When he was on the Lakers when they won.
Oh, okay.
What's fun here is we got 4 guys. No, yeah, the Mickey Mouse title. We got 4 guys in this. 2 of us have the same exact pick, and the other 2 have completely different picks, and we'll see what happens.
But we all have different. Who did you guys pick for the title? Did I miss that? I'm sorry. Did I miss the title?
Cavs, Lakers. Lakers.
No,
Lakers.
But did you pick? Oh, you picked the Lakers, and Tyler, you got the Lakers too. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think LeBron's losing to the Cavs.
So it looks like we're wrapping up the NBA there. We'll have, I believe, in the upcoming segment of our bragging rights, we've got a little bit of NBA sprinkled in there. So we'll pick that up, and obviously we'll see how the weekend plays out. We'll talk about individual matchups next week. Send in your tickets if you're on the NBA. Do we want to talk about Captain America real quick, WBC, and what that looks like?
So
got to mention it.
Yeah, our boy Judge is going to be the captain of the WBC in 26. So I'm still not used to that being next year, which is kind of crazy, 26. But
no doubt.
I saw a estimated like sort of an assumed team, and with Judge playing, because let's be honest, the team for the United States, we haven't always set our best players, right? There's been a lot of concerns about people getting injured and that type of stuff. But with Judge playing, it seems like we're going to get a lot more of the normal players, the people that we want playing. So if we could get a U.S. Japan final like we usually do, at least it'll be strength versus strength, which would be nice to see. So
the pitching is what the USA needs to. We need people to show up for that.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Blake Snell. They brought up the fact that Judge was the captain. He gave the LFG. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be on or in that rotation, but it sounds like he wants to
ready
get
to
behind
rock.
Judge.
Yeah. I think we didn't like the fact that we got beat by Japan last year, and more importantly, that there were people even here in the States that were talking about that Japan has the best baseball in the world. So it's like back in the day when we were sending the B squad NBA players to the Olympics, right? And we were getting beat. And sooner or later, the stars decided, enough of this nonsense. We're going to go start winning again. I have a feeling that the U.S. wants to win and put all those silly stories to bed. So let's hope that's
who's the manager of that team? Do you know?
No, I don't. Oh, DeRosa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And another is staying on the Yankee train. Sorry, everybody, but we got Andy Pettit as the pitching coach. So
very nice.
Yeah.
To Dandy.
Andy.
Yeah.
I will be watching those games. I love watching those games. The Dominicans, the Puerto Rican, all those Caribbean teams when they play each other, just like it's like the Super Bowl for if you go to like the Hispanic bars around here in Town and Country, West Tampa, it's like Super Bowl is on.
Well, I'm cursed with not sleeping, so I'll be very happy to wake up at 4 a.m. to watch some WC baseball.
So. Oh, is it in Japan?
I don't know where it is this year.
Obviously not in East Coast time zone if you're watching.
Well, it's possible it's in the States. It wasn't last year though. I mean, it wasn't a couple years ago, but I'm not sure.
They had some games in Miami. They spread it out. There was some games in Miami a couple years ago too. I know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's shift gears over to bragging rights. Let's get this thing going. How did everybody make out last week? I think we had some hiccups before the show was even over.
Yeah.
Last week.
We even have to show our tickets, at least Jeff and mine's. I mean, we lost before the show was over.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen to me tonight. So
We got to throw them up though. So let's see. What do we got?
Yeah,
Tyler,
we'll
what do
throw
we got,
them up
buddy?
there. We got Jeff's from last week. He had the Knicks over the Pistons. He had the Braves -1.5 over the Phillies, and he had the Grizzlies over the Timberwolves, and what is that? The over in 220.5 in the Pelicans Bucks. Which one was that? What was the loser there, Jeff? Which one?
A loser. I went 2-2, and that's just not good enough. So.
Not good enough is right. And then we got
loser.
we got Bubba was also a loser before we went off air last week. In this bet, we had what are the Guardians? They got the W there, but it was the Twins that let you down last week in the middle of the game or
Twins,
in the middle of the recording.
They lost 2-1, I believe, and then I think the Red Sox ended up losing too.
Tough one, but we did have and still, in the words of Bruce Buffer, the bragging rights champion of the world right now is JayAsh with his
2 weeks in a row
four-leg parlay. 2 weeks in a row. I mean, at some point, the dynasty is brewing here on the Casual Chaos podcast.
I mean, we should sign off this week and just end this podcast. Maybe put the audience out of their misery. I kid. Listen, it was all about Paddy the Baddy. I think I was very confident in the NBA wagers, although the Nuggets did cover that by a point. But it's Paddy the Baddy. We'll take it. 25 wins, 306. It's 2 weeks in a row. Unfortunately, as we get into our current tickets, my short-lived dynasty is probably going to end tonight.
Well, I'm in a little bit of trouble too, I think. But
I think I am as well. So,
so we should probably just cut this segment before we put the tickets up. Or
no. We got to talk about it. Everyone, throw out your stuff. Jeff, go into yours. What do you got this week?
Okay, so I got the. I mean, this is the one that was buyer's remorse almost immediately. But I got the Bulls -1.5, and something told me the Heat was going to be a problem tonight, and so far they are. But we still got a half of basketball to go, so we'll see what happens there. I got the Kings on the money line. I got the Yankees and the Dodgers given the runs. Right now, the Yankees are tied in the 6th inning with a couple of guys on base, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, so I'm almost worried right now about the Bulls. We'll see what happens there. Yeah,
he actually even said it as we started recording the podcast. I think he was like, "Yeah, I'm already worried about that." I think it was like 5 minutes into the game, or even before the game started.
Yeah.
It happens.
Feels like a live bet situation. Second half, cover the wager, be okay.
Yeah,
very true. We'll see what happens.
And then we got Bubba here. Bubba, you can kind of talk about yours and see where we're at right now with it.
Let's see. Got the Rays. They're down 1-0 in the 7th right now. So anything can happen. They're the walk-off cardiac kids. Sometimes, not all the time. I got the Phillies, who are losing to the Giants 7-4 in the 6th or 7th inning as well. And then this weekend, I tried to mix it up and do some plays that were a couple days out, because I'm always out on Thursday or Wednesday or the night that we do it. But unfortunately, the fire strikes again. I might be out here on before we end this recording. But I got the Kings to win money line, and then I got the Lakers to win money line this weekend. So 25 pays 152. If these two baseball teams can figure it out here in the last couple innings, I like my chances. But if they can't, obviously it's another 25 down and another no bragging rights for me.
Yeah, we've been donating the past few weeks, so.
Yeah, that'll happen. But and then we got JayAsh coming off the 2 victories in a row.
He's got his wagers covered for the next 6 weeks after those 2 W's.
Apparently. And then let's see what he's got.
All right, let's work backwards here. RBC Classic, special place in my heart, Hilton Head Island. Played this course, fantastic, great time. Also just a fun tournament to watch, easy on the eyes. Brian Harmon, plus 425 for a top 10. Fits his game. You don't have to be long off the drive, short game, putting. Magic plus 14. Historically, this team plays the Celtics pretty tough, although it's the first game of a playoff series. I think the Celtics have had a long rest, so usually some rust that comes with that, and I think it's closer to 14. Nuggets -2.5. I just like betting the Nuggets at home, anything under 8 to 10 points typically. A lot of hype from some of the people in the know in the NBA around this resurgence Clippers team. But tough place to play, best player in the world. I'm going to go with the Nuggets. And then tonight is probably going to be the dagger for me unless something happens in this Red Sox-Rays games, because I have the over at 9.5, and we're looking at a measly 1 run on the board in the 7th inning. So they must have got the memo that stadium was putting up a lot of runs, and they took the night off. Maybe Boston's getting ready for the marathon over the weekend already.
That +14 in the Celtics game, I agree. That's a big number. I wouldn't feel confident about that if I was betting Boston. So
yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure the Magic have beaten them every game this year, but I don't think Tatum and Brown
2-1. Yeah,
2-1. But Tatum and Brown haven't played, and the Magic have been a match unit. I know Bubba and I were going back and forth earlier, but Magic when healthy, good defense, abysmal offense. They stay in games, so I expect it to be close. We'll see what happens, but
And it's the same story with Boston. If they're banging threes, then they'll win by 30. If they're not, it'll be a close game.
Yeah. So we'll see. It looks like we all might get kneecapped here before we have any bragging rights for next week. But as Bubba mentioned, we got the socials flashing across the screen. Everything's at Casual Chaos Live, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, all the socials. But be on the lookout on our Instagram this coming week. We want to get the audience involved with some bragging rights as well. So send your tickets in, but be on the lookout for a little bit of promotion we're going to do this week via Instagram. We'll give you all the details, give you the way to get involved and get your involvement here in bragging rights. And, whether it's Johnny Hammer or someone along those lines, maybe somebody takes the crown if we both go, or I should say the three of us go 0 for our bets. So I think that's about it for the show tonight, guys. You have anything you want to end with?
No, I'm excited to watch some golf, and you talked about team travel. I'm the one traveling. I'm going up to Wrigley this weekend to watch some Cubs baseball, so I'm pumped about that. It's a bucket list stadium.
Nice, and we should have some good videos to throw out there, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got a couple buddies talking about the 9 dogs, 9 beers, and 9 innings, the 999. So, like you guys said, whoever does pull that off is probably going to end their weekend early on Friday.
Yeah, that's a pink bottle to go along with that program. If you're listening in the greater Chicago area and you're going to be out at Wrigley, just be on the lookout for a guy with a upside down Florida hat, a reverse brand hat, and say hi to Bubba.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a good time out there, man. I hope you have some fun. So
thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Yeah, safe travels. Have a great time. So, all right. Well, listen, I think that's going to do it for the Casual Chaos Live podcast, the Sports Wagering Community. We want to thank everybody for joining us again. We will be back on our regular taping schedule next week, recording Thursday, publishing Friday, but be on the lookout for the Instagram messages and get involved in the contest. We thank everybody for joining us today. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Great job.
Take care.
Hi, everyone. This is JayAsh, one of the hosts of the Casual Chaos podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Chaos podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The hosts and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content.